Born in the USA. Born in the USA. Welcome back, everybody, to the Generation Varied podcast. This is the show where we discuss pop culture, sports, politics, health, business, lotions, potions, glues, apple juices, you name it. We talk about it on this podcast. I am your host, Caleb Norris, and I'm joined here by my two co-hosts, Okenge and Jack Widener, with our wonderful executive producer in the background, Sophie St. Furman. Gentlemen, how are we doing this week?
I'm doing great. I am with family here in Colorado. It's always good to, go to a place that has, great mountains. And what's really special about this time, like the way I started my trip, is going deep into like these ski towns. And there really is special. And I know a lot of the snowboard, skiboard, world championships, they will host the tournaments there. So you know this is like a destination when it comes to if you're into snow sport. But it's really cool just to drive through this area because
are you Jack? Houses. Do you know how to ski or snowboard?
I only ski twice, but I wouldn't say I know how to. Like I don't know how to do pizzas.
Skis in Taiwan.
No, I skied. The first time I skied was in Colorado, and it was with my wife's family. It's hard. I'll say that. Like I'm nowhere close. It would probably take me another. I don't know. I want to be good at it. It's one of those things I want to be good at it. I just know it's so expensive, and it's also just like it takes a lot of time. But I think it's just really fun because when you drive through these beautiful sceneries, you also see like these amazing houses. You're like, I wonder what they do with life. I wonder what they do with like these locations they have. It's just so yeah, it's been great just being out here for Colorado, getting ready for a wedding that's going to be happening next week. So, but just coming out here a little bit early to hang out with family. But how about you guys?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I will be joining you out there soon in Colorado in a few days. So I'm excited for that trip. Abigail and I are just looking forward for something new, a change of scenery.
Have you been out here?
Yeah, I have, but never at like this time of year. And actually, the weekend that we're like this coming weekend when we're going to be there, it might snow.
It's gonna snow.
Yeah,
it's for sure gonna snow.
Oh, it is. All right. Well, I'm not excited for that, to be honest. I'm not excited for that, to be honest. Huh?
Is that this weekend?
Yeah. So I'm excited for the trip. Not excited for the weather because in Columbus, man, it's been nice. Like we've been having the windows open, and it's been a vibe. And I just feel like, while I am excited for the change of scenery, I've been in a good flow here. What about you, Caleb?
Yeah, no, I'm doing well. Busy with work, so a lot of work.
End of Q1
podcast. End of Q1.
You made it.
End of Q1, we made it. We did it. We hit our targets. I am so ecstatic about that. But so yeah, I'm doing well. Just heads down. I've got some time off later on this week where I'm probably going to travel, do a little bit of traveling.
Where are we going?
Yeah, I don't know. I need to see some mountains though. I need to see some rivers. I need to be in a cabin somewhere. So I'm scrolling Airbnb right now. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, guys, this past week, I saw something on the internet that I thought was pretty interesting, and I felt like the podcast would be a really good place to bring it up. I've talked about it maybe a little bit with you guys already, but for those who don't know, just a few years ago, Jeff Bezos stepped down as the CEO of Amazon and took on a different role. And in doing so, he put out a letter to basically all his employees and shareholders. And this letter I just thought was very motivating, inspirational, and it had just some good content to it that I felt like would be a good way to start off today's episode. Really what it has to do with is this idea that the title of the letter is Differentiation is Survival, and the universe wants you to be typical. So it's kind of just like a word of encouragement and empowerment to people, for him specifically in the context of Amazon. But as this letter came out this past week to the public, I feel like it's a good way to kind of inspire the general public too. So I'm going to try to just find a few different excerpts from it. He starts with a passage from Richard Dawkins' book, The Blind Watchmaker, which basically, to sum that up, he talks about how the human body is normally hotter than your surroundings. And that is a process that takes energy and work to maintain that differential. And when that work stops, you die. When your temperature matches the temperature of your surroundings, you are no longer living. So Jeff Bezos uses that as a metaphor that he relates to Amazon and really to any individual life. And he asks the questions: in what ways does the world pull at you in an attempt to make you normal? How much work does it take to maintain your distinctiveness, to keep alive the thing or things that make you special? He talks about the normal being easy. He talks about good things take work. Democracies are not normal. Tyranny is the historical norm. If we stop doing the continuous hard work that is needed to maintain our distinctiveness in that regard, we would quickly come into equilibrium with tyranny. And so he just draws different parallels and ends with basically saying that the world wants you to be typical. Don't let that happen. And I don't know why, but for me this past week, that was just a really like encouraging, thought-provoking word. And I hope that that would be kind of the same for you guys. And yeah, I kind of just want to hear like what you guys think about that that idea and that statement.
I think for myself that there's something that he says that towards the end of the letter that's basically like becoming who you are is like hard.
Mm-hmm.
Becoming who you're supposed to be is like hard. And I think that like that I loved that about the letter, because it's like, if you're gonna be who you're supposed to be, if you're gonna do what you're supposed to do on this planet, if you're going to, you know, create something that is worth it and isn't just vanity, you really have to start with who am I,
Mm-hmm.
and what is my what are my giftings and abilities that God or the universe has given me, and how do I use those for the greater good? And so I did really resonate with that message, but this idea that it is genuinely hard to be authentic.
Yeah.
It's genuinely hard to find out who you are, and then within the amount of time that we have on earth, and then how do I use who I am for the betterment? So I did really like that.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way, especially Caleb, the way you pointed out. I think that part also resonated really well with me about being yourself and how it's hard, and the world wants you to be, typical and not, differentiate yourself, like what it takes to differentiate yourself from others. But more so like for you to find that. And I feel like that band was also just encouraging, I guess, voice in my head. Like, all right, like, for example, when it comes to work, something I read recently was like, just be good at one thing. Like that's like have a thing you can say, hey, this is, I'm an expert in. Mm-hmm. Well, this is honestly an ongoing conversation, but that idea on top of this is like, oh wow, like it's such a refreshing idea. Mm-hmm. And also for me, it also helped me appreciate those around me who I consider authentic. Because like what Caleb said and what Jeff Bezos highlights, like it's not easy. So you just know people put in the work to be authentic. And so that was just, that's kind of what stood out to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's funny because something that I've been learning as I get older, and I'm now like I'm this week I turned 26, so I finally feel like, all right, that's the old man age, because like once you hit 26,
Not 26.
I'd say it is. I mean, not really, but it's like at least unk status. You know what I mean? Like when you hit 26, you are now unk. Because like from now on, the only birthdays that are gonna be any kind of meaningful, it's just every decade. Those are just gonna be the special ones. But anyway, all that to say that like as I grow older, I sometimes have found that like some of the simplest little things that you're told, even just from childhood, can just be completely cracked open once again to have such a deeper new meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's so weird that like when I was reading this letter, I'm thinking about the simple thing that everyone is told since being a kid of just be yourself. And like that's really what it comes down to. If you had to boil the whole thing down into one sentence, it would be yourself. It's hard. And like, why is that still something that can be so meaningful and deep and powerful to think about? So I really love that letter. Hopefully, listeners, it's an encouraging word for you. I know that the two of you guys are people who I look up to for that quality of authenticity and differentiating yourselves in a way that is not always easy. And so I want that to be like contagious for everyone who listens to this.
Thanks,
too.
man.
Yeah.
Bring in more letters next time too. Let's keep reading these letters. No, I love like stuff like that whether that's letters or scrolls, if you will.
The dragon scroll.
Dragon scrolls. Oh, that's true, bro.
That's what it is.
Yo,
be yourself, man.
That just hit me, bro. Dude, Kung Fu Panda, goated.
Yeah.
Goated for sure. Well, listeners, I know I talk about basketball here and there, but recently the March Madness has been taking place for obviously the men's and women's, and right now we're entering what we call the Final Four. This is the peak, should be the climax or the tournament where 64 teams, it comes down to the Final Four teams, hence the name. So it's been fun. Before I kind of highlight like who's in it, actually, let me just highlight who's in it, and then I want to see if you two have been watching. So on the men's side, the last 4 teams is Houston, Florida, Duke, and Auburn. And on the women's side, we will know the Final 4 teams tonight. And the 2 teams that have locked in their place is South Carolina, UCLA, and then we have Texas versus TCU, also known as Texas Christian University, and then University of South Carolina versus University of Connecticut. So, gentlemen, have you been following March Madness? Like, what is the basketball, from work or in your personal life? Like, how's that been?
Oh, man, for me, this is what happens to me every year in March Madness, I will say. I start off hot, and then once my bracket starts looking too ugly, I lose faith, and I stop caring about basketball. And that happened to me this year again. My bracket is not doing so hot. However, Jack and I are in a bracket challenge, and I'm the only one who has Houston winning it all. So if Houston wins it, I could low-key have a sleeper of a bracket that might slide in there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yes. So, I knew you were going to bring that up.
Everybody's been talking in this group chat about their teams, about Florida especially. And, we have a lot of people in there who have Florida or Duke winning. So I really hope the worst for Florida and Duke.
It truly is a sleeper bracket, because if Houston beats if they beat Duke and then Florida, that will be goated.
Yeah, I've got Houston winning it all too.
That's
That was-
right. Me and
that was on
Caleb
my
have been
bracket.
talking about this.
Y'all know I said that from week one. Houston was gonna win it all, so that's me and my bracket, But I don't like to put too much out there. I
That's
just
true.
like to sit back and watch them play. And then when my bracket is at the end, but it's looking good right now. I've only missed two predictions, so I'm really in good shape.
99.9 percentile over here.
I'm not gonna lie. This year has been one of my worst years of picking too, with missing those ones because
Yeah,
I'm normally
it hurts.
pretty on the bullseye, for being honest.
I'm
'cause,
sick.
y'all know I just basketball is that's my jam right there.
Jack, have you been following?
Yeah, I mean, I follow the brackets pretty closely from work and to the ones we both are sharing, and I have one with the family. So it's been fun this year because I feel like this is a year that I feel like I have created probably one of the better brackets, and I'll kind of get into that here in a second. But first of all, it feels good to win, but I can't say anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not over. But it's been fun. I haven't watched college basketball all year, unless it's Kentucky basketball. But it's been fun to follow around, especially now. It's just more like sports marketing lens, and that's kind of want to get into. So between the men's, okay. Also, my women's bracket is cooked. It will live if UCLA wins.
Mm-hmm.
So I am hoping my UCLA Lauren Betts comes through for me and delivers the championship. So yeah, I want to highlight two things that is standing out to me on the men's side and then the women's side. So on the men's side, what's really interesting about this year's bracket is all the number one seeds made it to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And not only that, when you go back to the Elite Eight, the final 8 teams, you can even say the highest seed was like a six seed or 10 seed. But anyways, there's just more and more. It wasn't really any Cinderella stories this year, and that's what makes March madness. Like these teams taking down these number one teams that have
like
endless
Villanova used to come out of nowhere for
Yes.
years.
Just like these students are accountants and they have like physical therapy and then they go play basketball. They're not just like so. But because of these big schools are now playing, like have made men's tournament a bigger spectacle, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So you have these big schools with huge basketball heritage going against another school with the same amount of basketball heritage history. So viewership for the men's side has gone up. The engagement has gone up. Even the competition itself is pretty close. So that part has been standing out to me, which led us to my next point is third the conversation if NIL is ruining college sports. As you know, NIL, name, image, and likeness, it come into play recently where college students can receive money from universities using their names and likeness and images in their marketing campaign and whatnot. So what makes it difficult is, for example, if you play for Vanderbilt one year and you're really good, a low-seeded team, you could join a team such as Michigan State next year, mm-hmm. because you're going to get way more NIL deals because the school is bigger and has way more basketball presence in comparison to Vanderbilt. So now you have these players moving around like crazy. So that brings in the question, like, is the competition going to be the same anymore? Because one year you can be good with this small team and the next year you're with a big team. There's no longer that. My bracket is busted after, right. This number one seed is lost. So right now there's two sides. A lot of coaches are already complaining about the NIL, how it has made it difficult to coach players. On the other side, coaches are saying like there's not enough data, there's not enough, that we need more years to be able to determine if we can say NIL is ruining the competitions in college sports.
It's true.
I mean, so I'll pause there. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, there definitely is like some crazy elements to the NIL stuff, though. One of them being just how like it is such a fickle system. You can have like one really big day and your whole life is changed. Like think about this guy we talked about, the manager, the Aura, Aura, and how like he's just this viral sensation for a minute, and yet he's been able to profit off of that so heavily. Look at Maryland's Derek Queen. Not to say he wasn't a phenomenal player before, but he was, his biggest moment was hitting the game winner just a couple games ago. Now they just lost to Florida, Maryland did. And immediately after hitting this game winner, he now signs an NIL deal with Dairy Queen, which is just hilarious because his name is Derek Queen and now he's with Dairy Queen. But then immediately after that, it's like now he's talking about being unsure about his future with Maryland and he might be entering the transfer portal. And it's like, wow, what kind of change is this to the NCAA, where it's like usually if you hit the big play, that solidifies you in that university even more, Right. Like you think of Steph Curry at a small school like Davidson. If NIL stuff was around when Steph Curry was playing at Davidson, we never even would think about Steph Curry being at Davidson because he would have had those big games, the crazy tournament run, and then he would have entered the transfer portal and gone somewhere else. And it would have been a whole different story. So I just think it's like a really weird time to be watching this stuff happen.
Yes.
And it's just, man, it moves fast. Like everyone is in the transfer portal. And
yes. So that is what's taking place on the men's side. I will say, if you're somebody who doesn't watch basketball a lot, you do like seeing big schools compete.
Yeah.
Right. And if you are somebody who's a partner for NCAA, for the Final Four, and you are somebody that holds broadcasting rights, this is good news to you because Duke fans can pull in a lot of people as much as Auburn. So now let's switch to women's side. What's sticking out to me? We just lived through the Caitlin Clark era. What that means is you have an individual athlete that's playing at the same school, so no NIL, transfer portal as much, same school, and build up a brand around her. So you go watch the Iowa Hawkeyes because of Caitlin Clark, not because of Iowa Hawkeyes. And there's more and more these big time athletes on the women's side, and I think it's great. And these are the ones that are biggest names on the women's side that has pulling in a ton of viewers post Caitlin Clark era. Juju Watkins from University of Southern California. Unfortunately, she did get injured. She tore her ACL.
Very sad, honestly.
In early rounds. But still then, like, she is probably, I would argue, the biggest player in the whole tournament. And then you have Paige Beckers from UConn, who has a phenomenal story, who been playing with UConn for 4 years, went through multiple injuries, including, I think she tore ACL as well, came back, and now she's on the brink of making to the Final Four. You have UCLA, Lauren Betts. That's my girl. She played with Team USA basketball as well. She's amazing. And Haley Van Lith from Texas Christian University. And she actually played for 3 different schools.
Yeah. And
she's the one who has, honestly, it's very unique because she transferred to a different school and still made it to the Final Four. We'll call it like Louisville Cardinals. She played for the LSU, and then this year TCU. So you got these big time athletes with so much social following that's even more than the men's basketball team, the individual athletes. Because I can't even name 4 athletes that are as popular as the top 4 athletes on the women's side.
Yeah, definitely not.
So I think this is great for women's sports because the approach to get viewership is through the individual athlete as opposed to the men's sport, which is through the big school. So that's what's standing out to me. I'm curious to see what's going to happen next time we talk, because Final Four will conclude, and we will definitely have a rise, like a big star that comes out of this. I don't know. Is there anyone else? Do you guys like Ben? Do you even follow me? You feel like it's
no, not really.
That should be worth a shout.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, especially with highlighting those female athletes. I think one really interesting thing that we can keep in mind is like we're in this era of superstars in women's basketball.
Yes.
And I think that is honestly a really good sign for the future of women's basketball, because you can easily draw parallels to other sports that have really blown up in this same way with this same formula. You think of men's basketball, it really, even at the pro level, the NBA really started blowing up and hitting the mainstream with the big superstar names. You think of Michael Jordan and these types of superstars that changed the culture and shaped the game to be the way we see it today, to the point where now, you know, the NBA is full of superstars and people follow teams, and it's so much deeper than that. And so I think that, like, it seems to me, and I could be wrong, but it seems to me like women's basketball is kind of at that similar phase in time, with the superstars that are rising. And as we get to see their careers progress with all of their popularity, then their teams are going to get more viewership. The fans are going to start building deeper attachments there, and that'll just help the whole sport grow.
100%. And I'll leave with 2 things. One is the women's sports is growing so fast. I saw one of the numbers from when I was reading in terms of like a sports newsletter. They were saying like women's sports bra is like, it's the sales for that is going through the roofs, and it's tied directly to the impact of women's sports, because you know, the representation, you're seeing these basketball teams playing on the main channels, not just like these ESPN2s and whatnot. They're holding the main channels for sports like ESPN, CBS, and whatnot. So it's great, and excited for NBA or WNBA or even rivalry. Let's see what happens there. And then last thing I'll say is Cooper Flag. We will most likely talk about him in the future.
Yeah,
but
hey,
that
maybe
is a teaser.
Let me tease it by saying this: we want you in Toronto. We might get him. We might get him.
We want him in DC and Washington Wizards. It needs to be revived and CPR'd, and we have somebody who can do that. So, Kuba Flag.
The only thing I was gonna say was is that I caught a little bit of whoever LSU's like women's basketball coach is. Her name's like what? Lisa? Is it Lisa something? Or?
Oh, I can't remember her name. Yeah.
What's her name?
Jack, did you see this? What
I followed more like the Flo J, but I don't know what was going on between like the coaches.
So she had this player who's like a starter, and it was like halftime, and there's this video of her like cutting her eyes, looking this girl up and down, and turning back to the rest of the team because she's
like her team or another
she's
team.
Looking at her own team, and she's like, the girl's like walking up, and she gives her this nastiest look, and then like looks back over, and that was really funny just because it's like we all know that feel. If you've played sports before, you know that feeling where it's like the coach puts you in, or you're a starter or something. And you know that it's like, no. There's some shared responsibilities on a team, but it's like, you know, when you messed up, and you didn't pull your weight, and like that feeling, and like so that was funny to me. And then also she got sort of snippy with a reporter, which when she said,
Yes,
"Have
that's
you
what I
ever
was
made it
talking
to the
about.
Final Four?"
Yeah,
that
her
was funny.
Kim Mulkey, that's her name. Yeah, the reporter had asked her like, he basically said something along the lines of, how does it, or this is now the second straight year you guys have lost in the Final Four, and she like cuts him off and she's like, that's terrible, isn't it? And then he's like awkwardly fumbling about, and he's like, yeah. She's like, is it good or is it terrible? And he's like, it's terrible. And then she says, oh yeah, how many Final Fours have you made? And he's like, none. He's like, all right, so I think it's pretty good then. And just completely shut him up. I love her attitude.
Yeah. I do too.
Put these reporters in their place.
Yes.
Here's
just like Stephen A. Smith. Put him in his place.
Here's my place on air. Here's my take on everything, right? Winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is everything. Winning isn't everything. So it's like if you work hard for something and you come up short, that's as long as you went into it with the intention of I wanted to win and I prepared to win, somebody else just beat me. It's like I can live with losing in that scenario all day, but it's like you have to, wanting to win is more important to me, I think, than actually winning. Because it's like you can't always control that. That like goes back to like, what can you control? I can't control the outcome of if I actually win, but I can control all of my preparation, my mindset, and my focus being on wanting to win, you know?
Yeah. She deserves those moments of, you know, and also she's a phenomenal coach. And so I think I'm glad that this is going semi-viral. Because hopefully it sends a message to some of these sports reporters
that's the thing about women's sports.
Anytime
the thing goes viral, it's great. It's great.
Yeah. So, hey, well, speaking of viral, by now.
Oh Lord have mercy.
By now, I feel like everybody and their aunt and their cat knows about this guy that I'm about to talk about. He has been literally all over my Instagram feed. I cannot make it 3 posts without seeing something that has to do with him. And I'm going to ask you guys what you think about Ashton Hall. Have you guys seen this guy's videos?
Of course.
Oh, ugly.
Not ugly.
I don't even know.
I'm dead.
I don't know. I don't know. Me and my coworker, we like to because we're online for sports, but we're also chronically online for social trends and stuff like that. And this is just one of those things this is the final arc of humanity. One of at the end of the year they do a meme. This is the meme of
year
every
in
month.
review. Yeah.
And I'm always just curious, what is the next thing? And this one is just March 2025 is just crazy when it comes to memes, and Ashton Hall has really took it to a next level. You want to kind of explain a little bit what is his background? I mean, most people have but same thing with you, Ben. I cannot scroll through my Instagram without seeing some sort of skits or some sort of humor reaction out of the just Ashton Hall.
Yeah,
what he's doing.
So he has been really blowing up, going viral, especially just some context for the listeners, especially for his videos that he posts pretty frequently, which are a morning routine video. And he posts these absurd morning routines where he wakes up at 3:45 in the morning, and you see him, and there's a clock on the middle of the screen that's showing you the time as he's doing these different activities. And I mean, we'll get into it, but Caleb, what do you think about him?
Lollygags for hours a day.
Man, that's one thing I feel like not enough people are talking about. People can really make fun of him. People can really make fun of everything. But when you really watch, you see this man's been up for 3 hours and he's really not done anything yet. Like, what's he been doing this whole time?
So my opinion on him is this is like, and especially because I followed up and I read some of his, like, some of the actual captions on his stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm in bed by 7:30 because nothing good happens after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the day,
Yeah.
like nothing but temptation gonna come after 7:30. So I've adjusted my sleep schedule so that I'm not up when other people are up, because that keep me out of temptation. And I was like, listen, that, to me, that logic, pal, you can have that.
Yeah, brother. What are we talking about here?
But I just know my general opinion is that all of these just excess consumerism on steroids, like, just when you really break it down. And I saw another one of his videos, not the one that went viral, but the one where he's just like running in parking lots. He has this portion where he steps outside of his apartment, basically in the buff. Okay, he's in some short shorts, and then just like this strap-on thing for his front chest. Keep in mind, this is not workout equipment on him.
No, it's fashion.
It's not even like a camera. He's not even getting like a chest camera shot. When I look at this thing that he's wearing on his chest, I say to myself, this is like fashion. Like, there's no, because he has a bag that, keep in mind, the man can't carry his own bag. The man can't even hand the bag to the person that's picking him up.
Nah.
The bag needs to be sat on the floor and then subsequently picked up by said unnamed servant. And when I saw that, I said, let me tell you something. Ain't no way. Hey, bro, get this for the video. I'm gonna set this bag down.
That's
and then
the thing, bro.
Because you can't convince me. You cannot convince me that you have on hired staff and your genuine, when you are interacting with them, is no conversation. I'm not even going to hand you my bag. I will set the bag on the ground and you will pick the bag up. I know.
And sometimes what's in the bag is also ridiculous. Like, some of them, what's in the bag is like a quarter of a watermelon that's sliced open. Sometimes it will just be a towel. Just a towel. It's like, brother, you can carry the towel. You don't need to have the Louis Vuitton to put the towel in there.
And it's in like a Go-Yard duffel. And it's like, it's just like, it's the excessivism. It is the consumerism. But here's the thing. And this is why, like, not to take us off subject, but it's like, this is why when we were first talking about like all of the tech billionaires, it's like, here's the reason why I don't think that any of them are going to do any good for the government, because I think most of them are idiots. And most of them are trying to optimize for something. It's like everything that he did in that video. Yeah, no, it's great. It's fantastic. But it can be done in the span of 2.5 hours,
True.
Not 6 hours. And sitting around, like in one of the videos, he set up a tripod. He set up a lowered angle tripod so that a bottle of San Pellegrino could fall off the counter.
Yep.
So he could claim his loyalty with imagery to Saratoga water. You set up a tripod to get a shot of you breaking a bottle of water, and you faked lifting your foot off of the ground like it was going to hit you.
Yeah. And here's my thing about that, Caleb, that I didn't even know until we were talking about this. Originally, when these morning routines, so I personally, just a little deeper context, like, I've known about Ashton Hall for a very long time before he was like, he was pretty big, but he was not like this big. And that's because like, just my, like, I like following a lot of the fitness space, and, you know, he's kind of fitness adjacent, or at least has been. And now he's kind of rebranding. But when I started seeing all this stuff going viral, I thought all of it was advertisement for the Saratoga water.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, this is not paid promotion.
Nope.
Does he just...
He is just trying to flex
It's
on
just
you
a flex.
He brushes his teeth with $10 bottles of water.
It's just a flex, bro. It's insane.
What rubs me really wrong about this? I feel like we've seen a lot of like influence, like even on YouTube phase, like there's always that like, hey, this is my morning routine for this person, or for, you know, I'm working in this industry and this is my night routine, morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen different type of excess routine that people have done, but this is just another level. And Kayla, I think what you highlighted was honestly the heart of it that really rubs me the wrong way, is how he just doesn't talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's promoting loneliness for men more than anything else. Like
exactly.
And that's, I don't know, we talk about this a lot. It's like, I don't want to go anywhere alone.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go with people. And I feel like it's easy for, you know, if you're a teenage, like I can see my teenage self, like, oh my gosh, I want to be, you know, I want to have attention in the classroom, popularity, or get this girl and that kind of stuff. Okay, I need to start with looking at who, you know, okay, who's buff. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is what he does in the morning. Okay, I'm going to start doing that. But then it's like, we'll get lost in the sauce. It's like, you just, I don't know, it's just not, you know, you just get so lonely. And
it's this like extreme moving in silence that's just like,
yeah, and you kind of position yourself as, you know, you're a god almost. Like
yeah.
everything's around, I don't know, it's just a tough narrative. Obviously this is more like the worldview we're trying to get into. Even just like, we can even talk about when it comes to marketing, like other companies promoting this. Mm-hmm. You know, because I saw a meme was like, okay, tell me 5 things about this era of a Chinese history or dynasty. Mm-hmm. And then you can't name anything. And next thing you know, it's like, tell me 5 things about Ashton Hall. And then you can name like, what sound does he make when he runs? What kind of water? How long does he floats in the air? Like, you know these things, but it's like, that's true. Like, the fact I know these things, but I don't even know about history or like something more like could be more beneficial or something like that. It's just, I don't know. That's also a part that can be frustrating, especially if you're a parent too. Like, this is all fun and it's funny. It is funny. I will say, like, it does give me a ton of laugh.
It just reminds me of, not to be too spiritual, but it just reminds me of that portion of the Bible that talks about like vanity upon vanities. Like, mm-hmm. Everything is vanity. And it's like, I watched that video and I'm just like, dude, this brought to me, like, dude, you're like, I don't know. I will say, like, this is loser energy to me.
Mm. But
this
listen, man, he made his first 10,000. Now he's got to make 20. I mean, he's winning.
But it's like the whole idea that like you have this, like, I didn't see any interactions with like his I don't know, his partner, his girlfriend, wife, fiance, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the only thing that we see of her is like her bringing him breakfast and her bringing him these massive bowls for him to put his big dome in. Of ice water every 30
big ass head, bro.
And it just, every time I see it, I'm like, you're sending it. You haven't come out and used like this incel logic, but it's like, when you mean to tell me I'm living in a high rise with a partner and I'm promoting myself and my brand, and the only thing that I want them seeing about my partner is that they serve me breakfast and they're on my schedule bringing me ice water for my face. That's a servant.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And that, to me, that rubbed me so wrong, because it's like, I'm not even saying that you can't have your partner come and bring you food, and like, I'm not even trying to take it to a place where it's like, oh, you're automatically a misogynist. It's like, no, it's like, I don't care who it is. It's like if your partner is bringing you this and you can't look at them in the eyes and say, thank you, babe, I appreciate that. Like, thank you for this. Like, you're a loser to me, bro. Like, you're trying to sit here and flex. Like, and if you didn't say thank you to your person, like, it's just like what are we doing?
Yeah, he has to do it in like the nonchalant way. He got to be like, thank you, and not even make eye contact.
Hey, that's pretty good,
like that. But I mean, obviously, there's a lot that we can say about this, and there's a lot that everyone is saying about this. I think the big question that I have for you guys is like, if you had to boil it down to like one or two things, what would you think it is that is making him and his content blow up on this next level of virality? Like, there's a lot of things that go viral. There are not a lot of things that go this viral. I look at his profile pretty frequently because it's so fascinating to me. But like literally every day that I look, his following is increasing by staggering numbers. When I was kind of preparing for this episode a couple of days ago, I had looked at his Instagram page and he had 7.5 million followers. And then I checked the next day and he had 8.5 million followers. I just checked right now as we're on this call and he has over 10 million followers. How is he gaining 1 million followers a day? Like, there is something about this that is propelling the virality of it to another level. And what do you guys think that is?
I got two things, and they're kind of related. One, it's replicable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When it comes to skit, if you're somebody who is a content creator, this is very easy to, because you're just following action, copycat it. Mm-hmm. It actually allows a lot of space for creativity. We've seen Duolingo. The bird is known for doing things based off what's trendy.
Yeah.
And now you see Duolingo in a buff, a really fit bird doing this, crazy routine. And you're also seeing, brands and other like people in that world, like the meme world, that, for example, the Rizzler, like that, that kid, like he did his own morning routine that kind of depicts that. So I think that goes into my second reason. Like it's a meme that can be made fun in different ways. It's not just like one thing he did. It's like there's multiple things that he does that are.
It's true.
Very, it's like,
there's
wow,
layers.
Like there's layers from putting his face in the ice water, not just water, but like that blue bottle water, to rubbing bananas on his skin, to making the noise he makes when he runs, to floating in the air, like the way he edits his video. Like,
so do you think he did all that on purpose?
Oh, 100% no.
Yeah.
I think sure. I don't think didn't do it on purpose, but then he saw how popular now he's like, but it's leaning into it.
But like, Caleb, think about all those elements that you just brought up and that we've been talking about, the things that Caleb brought up. We've listed off at least 20 different things by now that, like, if they were done each on their own, would already make a viral video. If you had a video of just like, here's my morning routine, and you dunked your face in ice water, already you could go viral for that. But he's doing all of them.
That's what I'm saying. I think part of the reason why it's so viral is because it's so unrelatable.
Mm-hmm.
It's so abstract.
Extra.
It's like, why was he floating in the air for 4 minutes? How did this happen? You think to yourself, why is he putting the banana peel on his face? Like, what is this? Is this a new skin? It's like, is this a new skincare? Should I be applying a banana? It's like,
you're just picking apart.
We are so just like, I think, curious that it's like there's so many things about
it's
that
true.
video
it is intriguing.
That doesn't make sense. Like, there's this one moment where he like squats down, and it's like, brother, what are you doing reasonably in this position?
Yeah.
And so there's just so much that just doesn't make sense about it. But I also think people like this is my general opinion in general right now. I think my general opinion in general right now. Caleb, get it together. I think that the world is suffering functionally from bad leadership across the globe, across industries, across cultures, across households. I think people are looking for somebody to look to. So you point to somebody that looks like they've got a little bit of peace, that looks like they've got something figured out, and people are like, wait a second, what do they have that's figured out, right? Because I think we're all on this search right now, just looking to someone to take some type of direction for, just because of the state of the world. And so I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that nothing in that video makes sense. And then I think a lot of it has to do with people are just like, wait a second, Hasbro cracked the code on something? Like, should I be applying a banana peel to my face? And I use the face and ice bucket like that. That's an old technique for things like anxiety. If I'm ever really anxious, or like if I'm having a panic attack or something like that, which does not happen always, but I will go and get a big bowl of like ice water and I'll just like submerge my face in it, and it really is like, it feels like a factory reset button if you do it like
it's called the diving reflex. It slows your heart rate. But it's like, again, like you said, he doesn't say that in the video, he just does it and leaves it up to everyone who's watching to question what's going on in this video. Actually,
listen, I know one thing. I don't want to go out with him. He don't sound like no good time to me.
Nah, that's cool. He don't want to go out with you. He's avoiding that temptation.
He don't want to go out with me. Well, speaking of going out, y'all, we've got we had a segment a couple of episodes ago where we talked about, do you know how to act? And I had some scenarios here. That
love the segment, love the questions, keep it coming.
These are all specifics. Now, for our listeners, I'm not gonna screen share just because it takes a second, but I've got 8 responses to this, so I did send this out to people, inquiring, like, listen,
you're the Ashton Hall. People were asking, like, did Caleb really do that? Is this serious?
I'm being serious as a heart attack. I don't want to be the problem with, and this is gonna sound cocky, and I've just accepted at this point in my life that it does, and I don't care. The people that get it will get it, and the people that don't won't. Being able to follow a line of logic and having a semblance of competency is a tax in this day and age, when most people walk around just inconsistent and doing their own thing. So I do find exercises like this essential to knowing who is serious about, just even kicking back, and who is, a dud, because you have to ask these questions. Okay, so starting us off here, everybody. First question is this. You have a friend who gets a little too drunk, gets a little too sloppy. We out. Now, this isn't a regular occurrence. This isn't something that happens all the time. You've been out with them several times. But they go a little over, no real harm was done. Nobody was kicked out of any place. Nobody was standing up on tables. Let me tell you something. I went out with this person one time. They started standing up on tables. I left.
Yeah, got
I said, oh, no,
that's where I draw the line.
No. Not John D. I can't be mixed up with that riffraff. Not in this economy. Not paying for no tables at no bars. But, okay, so here are the options, gentlemen. The first option is you clown them in the group chat and tease them in the future. Second option is you say, all good, bro. It happens to the best of us. You debrief the night before for about 5 minutes and then you forget about it. Option 3 is you avoid them the next morning and ignore them. Option 4 is, OMG, you got so drunk in front of all of your friends the next time that you see them.
Ooh. Personally, I'm going with the clowning them over it. Just like cut the tension. What was that the first choice that you said?
Yeah.
That's the one that I would probably go with. But also, I will admit that like I'm okay with answering this one incorrectly. If this is not, if this doesn't pass the Caleb Norris test, I'm okay with that, because frankly, I'm notoriously bad at handling myself in those situations where someone is like too intoxicated. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my upbringing, and I don't know what, but like there's something about like when someone gets sloppy, it just makes me so uncomfortable that I literally I don't know how to act. Like I will tell you that. Like
Yeah, I would say I'll definitely clown on them in a, in just like, dude, like what was going on? like like are you good? Do we need a like I think that it's like a blend of one and two. Just like let them know like that was not okay, but what led to here? How did we get here? Let's talk about that. And I think that's more of the Jack just want to get to know people, like what's going on, what's weighing on them. But I also will say, Ben, I would probably do the same thing. Just like, I don't know, I'm gonna leave. Like I'll probably do the same thing as you did, Caleb. Like if someone stands on the table and I'm like, that's like a competency, like not to do that. Like
so there's only one time that I've ever been like out in public, at least. Now in the comfort of my own home, in the comfort of a friend's home, that's different. But there's only one time, and it's funny because so I tell this story sometimes, but you guys know Gabe and Didi, right? I was out. This is junior year. I was out at Hugo's. Do you guys remember Hugo's? See, y'all wasn't out.
Hell no, I was not out.
Y'all wasn't.
You know that. There was
why too.
I was asleep like Ashton Hall.
No, you're so right. You're so right. No, here was my thing.
He's avoiding temptation.
You know what's crazy though? Even though I did all that, I'm still not rich and swole like him. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. I should have been having fun like you this whole time.
Listen, after I saw that I was straight and narrow until I saw a religion professor's Confederate flag in their office. When I saw that, I was like, ain't none of this real. I was like, nah, fam. I went out that weekend and got tore up because I was like, there's no way
what is life?
That you are teaching me Bible at an accredited university and you have a Confederate flag hanging in your office. And when that happened to me, I was like, oh, I need to have me some fun because this is crazy. I'm not out here not partaking, and these folk out here got Confederate flags on the wall. Oh, I don't think so. Anyways, story about Gabe and Didi. I went out this one time, and this is the reason why I can't have any amaretto sours. I was brand new to drinking, and I had like 12 amaretto sours, and that is a gross drink.
Gosh.
It's like sweet tea, like vodka with like sour mix for like a margarita. Ugh, it's terrible. I can't smell one to this day without like having a physical reaction. It's gross. But I went out one time and got absolutely tore up, and my friends did leave me. And Gabe and Didi found me in the club, took me back to their house. I got sick all in their bathroom. I'm talking everywhere in this bathroom.
Oh, man.
Cleaned it up at 3 a.m., tucked me in their bed, and woke me up at 11 a.m. with water, Tylenol, and cooked me breakfast.
Wow.
And did
Those
not
are some stand-up
say
gentlemen.
a word about it. Never were like, Caleb, that's on you buying drinks next weekend because we did all this. I can't.
No,
never.
honestly,
said a word
that
about
tracks
it.
for them.
Wow.
You need some quality people like that,
Bro. I said to myself, make no mistake. Make no mistake, for the rest of my life, I will never forget this. And for the rest of my life, if you guys ever need anything, y'all call me and I got you. Those Gabe and Didi are my boys through and through. I haven't talked to them in like 2-3 months, but through and through.
Shout out the twins.
Wow.
Shout
that
out
is amazing.
Yeah.
That is just, that's wow.
Yeah. So my preference would be, yes, you can, if you're in a group chat, you can clown them. Thumbs up on that one. The other one, the best one was though, is that debrief the night. If we go out, I do like a little morning debrief. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how y'all doing? Like,
how you doing?
Hey. Oh gosh. Okay. Next question here. Let me see here. It is 2 a.m. and your roommate is spending the night with their significant other. You're out of food, but you notice that they have food that you like. How do you proceed? There are multiple correct answers to this one. The first one is eat it, who cares? The second one is eat it, text them confessing, and then tell them that you're going to replace it the next day. Third one is eat it, wake up early to replace it without them ever knowing, mentioning it in passing. Eat it and then Venmo them the money for it is the last one.
Oh, that one is foul. Let me just say that. That is foul.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You know it's the worst thing when you want a snack when you don't have that snack, but instead you have $4 in your Venmo. Like, bro, no, I don't want that $4. I wanted my food.
Exactly.
I heard of a story actually just last week that it was a friend of mine from college. They had those Costco size Pop-Tarts, just like a wholesale, like just a bunch in them. Mm-hmm. And their roommate was like, "Oh, can I have one?" And then my friend was like, "Yeah, you can have one." Few weeks, it comes back, box is empty. And he's like, "Wait, where did it go?" I was like, "Oh, you said I can have some." It's like, just have one, not the whole box. Yeah. No. I don't know if there are any apologies in there or any at least go get refill. So I think it's the, hey, sorry, admit, confess, and then you go get something, like a quick turnaround, and maybe even ask something little, just like you were there, just I think that's very appropriate. Yeah. So I think that's definitely, I think the who cares one? Nah. And the Venmo, definitely it's I need that as an option. I don't want to go somewhere to,
Yeah. I think this one is also partially person dependent because it's depends who your roommate is. When I was a roommate with Josh Hamilton, there was nothing that was off limits. This man, me and him, that was our policy, was the who cares, what's mine is yours, who cares? But there has to be that mutual understanding where it's I'll take your stuff, you'll take my stuff, but it's cool because it's going to even out in the end. But in general, there are not a lot of people that you have that kind of a mutual understanding with. I would err towards I'm going to eat it and then I'm going to replace it and just tell them hey, I ate this, but don't worry, I got you a new one.
Yeah, no, agreed. So the two that are acceptable are the two that are in the middle, which is eat it, texting them, confessing, and then tell them that you're going to replace it the next day. And then the second one, which is replace it before they know about it and then just mention it hey, I did finish off your pretzels, but I replaced them, just so you know.
Yeah.
Those are the two that are appropriate. And I also agree because me and my roommates right now, we do this thing where basically it just works out for us where it's we're all meal prepping. And so I try to do, but it's y'all know me when it comes to meal prepping. I have mastered the art of how to do it. Mm-hmm. And the key for all of our listeners is you can't make everything from scratch. Just don't do it. Yeah. Sam's Club has 5 grilled chicken breasts, for $10. If you buy 5 chicken breasts by themselves, they will cost $10.
These
Buy
ones
them
already cooked
already.
Yeah.
Get you a green, get you a carb thrown in there. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Just putting you on game, listeners.
All I'm gonna say is that there's 3 like big guys in this house, and so what we do is like we just do like a grocery haul. Like we're responsible for a grocery haul like every 3 weeks, basically, is like our thing, and it's like we typically like we'll place an online order for Kroger and Sam's Club like at the same time. It's pretty much the same exact thing, and then it's like we go pick it up, we go pay for it, we bring it in the house, and then it's like we can all share. But it's like that's a different scenario than roommates that are like eating their own stuff. I had a roommate who used to do the last one, like, hey, I took this, so I just sent you $3, and I'd be like, what do I want $3 worth of like butter for? Butter in New York is more than $3 anyways. Ooh, and don't get me started on somebody that be Venmoing you the wrong amount for stuff. Don't get me started on that because I'm petty.
Yeah,
I'm petty.
No, that's
I'll
terrible.
ask for the $1.22 if you force me to. Don't make me. But yeah, no, that one I feel like that one feels pretty cut and dry. Okay. Last one here, and then we'll close things up. You have you are chilling on a date, and this has actually happened to me. Okay. You're chilling on a date, cuddling with a new boo, okay? And you've got a puppy that, like small puppy, that urinates on your rug. Do you, A, scream at your dog and then clean it up? B, get carpet cleaner or something that kills bacteria, dab the area, wash your hands, and then return? C, let the piss sit, it'll be fine. Or D, dab the piss with a paper towel and then go back to cuddling.
Oh, so they seen this happen too?
Pal, I have witnessed this scenario. That's the reason why.
No, but what I'm saying is like it's not just you saw the puppy.
We all
everybody saw the puppy. Then
piss on the rug.
Here, bro, you personally, you cannot like literally sweep that under the rug. Like you got to take ownership over that situation. Like personally, I'm dropping everything in that moment and taking care of the mess, taking care of the dog. Like everything's got to be cleaned up, making sure everything's good.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'm sorry about the date, like, but that's not my priority
that's
anymore.
Crazy that happened.
Like,
I'm same answer. I never had a pet before, so but like I imagine if I'm in a situation like that and that happens to someone else, that's how I will want them to handle that situation. Because when you
what does that say about you if you don't do that?
Listen, I saw that and I said, "Oh my God, what am I sitting? Where am I?
Mm-hmm.
You done cooked and everything. This is the reason why I don't be eating home cooked food from people.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? You just don't know. You really don't. I've seen people, they have their cats trained, instead of having a water bowl for their cat will get up and will hit the faucet in the kitchen and put their head and be. That's why you can't be over at everybody's house. I saw that and I said, oh, this is the first and last date we going on. Because for all I know, I'm stepping on excrements right now. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it sends a message about you and your character if you don't handle situations when they occur.
Keep these questions coming, because these situations that you unfortunately find yourself in.
Yeah, I don't know how you be.
I'm gonna get out of here. You need to keep these coming, because this is real situations, and I know that it happens to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But these are great questions.
All my life, I feel like sometimes I think I'm in the Harry Truman Show, because I'm like, I feel like I always just like want to look over at a camera like, is this for real right now?
Who's punking me right now?
Happening right now? No, it's the craziest thing ever. Everything that's in here, every single scenario there's a reason why the question was asked.
Mhm.
Okay, remember that.
I appreciate that, man. Well, as always, listeners, thank you for joining us today. We hope this episode brightened your day. We really appreciate this community that we get to build with you on this podcast week after week. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to rate us 5 stars on all listening platforms and share the episode with a friend. Follow us on social media at Generation Varied. And if there's anything that you'd like to hear us talk about, or if you have a song request for Caleb's opening song on the next episode, send us a DM or email at generationvaried@gmail.com. We could not do this without you, and look forward to being back together again next week.